So the question is, does it matter what race the Egyptians were? And yes, it does, because things like this happen. The title of this video is most likely, were the Egyptians black and does it matter? The answer is yes, because look at this BS I'm seeing that's caused me to open the video, and this is where we're starting at. First, okay, we are an app called Threads. I opened it because it's easy to see my screenshots from here because I can add. And this is what it opens with, some BS that gotta see where it's happening at. You know, you could always research because, like, where are they doing that at? But then we have the internet. If you're seeing this, you have the internet, which means you have access to a search engine. One of the most popular ones is Google. My friend showed me in 8th grade, been using it since then. I'm definitely over 20. So for a minute, we have had Google, right? A minute. You can just use Google and find it. And then, you know, remember, I'm gonna have to shout. Oh my goodness, I have to bring up Offset. It makes me upset. They try to get Offset upset or something like that, you know. But listen, he did a interview with a person who's got to come from the descent of the people who's trying to tell us that Harriet Tubman never existed. It comes from their descent. They did an interview, and he was like, I couldn't even Google you. I had to look you up on TikTok. Ooh, that's a diss. I see some people might not know why it's a diss, because like, oh, you're on TikTok. TikTok is what's cool. Yeah, but Google got like everything just about. So Google ain't have you. They had to go to the social media website to find you, to look you up, you know, you feel me? Like the modern Facebook, to find out who you is, because Google ain't got no list, and Google said who, what, where. But Google can tell you who, what, where. So if I wanted to see who's trying to say that Harriet Tubman never existed, we can find that out. Even though she existed so much that they have secrets like that, she belonged to, like, at some point they tried to call her a spy. But did you know Canada? You probably didn't. Canada was involved with Underground Railroad, okay? Underground Railroad went to Canada. And isn't it something? This is red and white, and the Canadian flag is red and white. And did you know that America is trying to threaten Canada and take it over? And that's why Canadians started boycotting American goods. Like, do y'all know that? Everyone's so busy. They don't say it out loud, but this is things we should know. Okay, they are threatening Canada this year. Since January 2025, they have been threatening Canada. And the Canada went to the Underground Railroad, was part of the Underground Railroad. And yeah, like many people from Virginia, like if you made it all the way to Canada, you was free. But like if you made it to North, you were free, or you needed like papers. So maybe you would go like to Philly. But if you made it to Philly, you probably want to get it to Canada. You feel me? And that's crazy. And that's like what's really great about us having transportation these days. That's easy and smooth, because like if you're in a bad area, you can move. But we're lucky in places, including America. And I know this luck is involved with what we have to do. Because look, we're all speaking English on YouTube. These are very American things. So America, what's good? So we can look at these comments, but my goal is to tell y'all about, oh man, credible sources include banned and soon to be banned books. This is bad. They're trying to, I need to tell these people we need to move, because it's BAM 2027. Okay? I just don't want them to delete my Instagram. You know, they've denied me access, which feels like deleting it so many times. I guess I'll have to make a video and we'll go through my Instagrams in a little bit, okay, y'all? Because that's why I just can't write BAM 2027, because this is what they're doing. Okay. I'm gonna read it to y'all like burp, so if you've only been listening to me, you can read what's on the screen, and we can go from there. Because I have a lucky gift or skill in which I can read fast, and it starts as a child. So having children read, even though I barely like to read these days, but have them read. Because I was around before we had streaming. You could watch any kid show you want, or any show you want, any movie, any music, you know? So books were fun. It was like books were fun. I can remember being like in the 3rd grade and liking to read chapter books. And other people were really looking at picture books still. And did you know there's a whole book called Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys? We have to look that up on YouTube. So since there's a conspiracy to destroy black boys and the Egyptians are black, yes, all this stuff does matter. And then I'm going to show y'all this Asian woman who breaks everything down, because she can break it down better than 95% of black people currently. Maybe 97. Like, ooh, she swished. She concrete with it. She know the info. Because they use Asians as like a middle race, you know? Like, oh, they're better, but not as good as, you feel me? But still be racist. And these people, they act like, there's some history we don't know. Because, like, recently, not to SHIT on people, but I guess it is. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but I'm just saying it's a middle race. Like, we can talk world history, but people don't talk world history. Like, people just like love anime and think Japan's so cool. Let's go to Tokyo. But do you know Tokyo? You know, I'm pretty sure the guy who stars in Drift, the Tokyo Fast and the Furious 3, is probably a quadroon. Really like looks it. So we're gonna get into why quadroons are important, because quadroons are 1/4 black. And 1/4 black people were treated badly historically. It's only since the millennials were born, so that's 80, since then, since 1980 and before, that y'all either want to act like being racially ambiguous is cool, white passing is just white, mixed is mixed, when all those stuffs before were colored or Negro. Okay, in America, y'all have heard of the one drop rule. The one drop rule means if you have black blood, you are black in America. Now, so it's kind of lessened, because now when you see like the first African-American snowboarder and you see a redhead, and not like someone you call red, but like a redhead, like more of a gingery, oh my gosh, that's why they adopted the gingers in. Oh, y'all gotta see so much. They recently adopted gingers in on TikTok, and it's been so big that they've made compilation videos I've got to see. But if y'all are on TikTok, I probably already know. But they adopted a lot of gingers in, and then you can see gingers really being quadroons often. Like Drake's son, I'm pretty sure is a redhead. Isn't he, y'all? Yeah. And he's 1/4 black. And who did I just mention? Some woman who won the snowboarding contest recently in the X Games. They listed her as the first African American, but on the bottom of the screen. But if they didn't list her as that, you wouldn't have known she was African American. But you could if you have an eye, because like when I was a kid, I was younger, I lived on military bases, and I definitely developed an eye. But I noticed out loud to myself and in my head yesterday, both of them, that it is kind of faded. But you can have an eye, so we're gonna have a because I was on a page the other day called Biracial, and most of these biracial people looked more white, to be honest, than I was, but they're not. It was like the blonde, black, because you could be biracial and turn out blonde and like real pale looking, but you kind of have like a deeper tan, so there'd be like pinpoint points. But the other people, they know. And I could even pull up a video of a man yesterday saying that he was like, I be in the gym and sometimes, black women just come up to me and they be like, what's your background? And he just kind of be like, my dad's black, my mom's white. He's like, I knew it. Type jank. But the Egyptians were black, okay? I know that makes people mad but it is what it is, okay? And that's like the whole twist of things. That's the whole twist y'all gotta figure out. That A, the Egyptians are black, and B, they didn't enslave people. So no slaves built the pyramids, okay? No slaves did that. But yes, black people did that. But they want black people to be synonymous with slaves. And that's absolute bullshit, because black people are the first people in the civilization. They're also the kindest. You feel me? Like, if we went to 1950... and the wrong kind of person or the wrong ethnicity or a different ethnicity stumbled into a black birthday party, it would not become some violent, horrible thing. But on the opposite, if the wrong race stumbled into the majority, quote unquote, of America's ethnicities party in 1950, there would be a huge issue, because also in 1950, there weren't so many different kinds of Americans. There weren't Indian Americans and Chinese Americans and Korean Americans and barely any Polish Americans. Like, that wasn't here. Y'all have to learn how the people drifted into the country. We didn't even really get Italians until about the 19th century. Okay, and they had stopped letting Chinese and Asian people in. There's even a Chinese Exclusion Act. So until the 1964 Act, where they said you gotta stop discriminating against people based on race, creed, ethnicity, that fine print that was on like almost all applications and stuff that they recently took away and canceled, there was like black and white in America, okay? And like, of course, there were Indians, but some Indians come in a shade and range, right? Like, from what y'all think Indian looks like to darker. And so it's like Scots came over. Of course, Spanish people have been here. French have been here. Y'all know about like the Louisiana Purchase, but like, they don't encourage people to like school. So people aren't really paying attention. They don't encourage people to read. And it was also illegal for black and white, for black people to read for a while. So that's why y'all don't even know what quadroons are. And then some people who think they're so smart still be wrong. I gotta call you out. Cynthia G has a lot of information, right? But she said miscegenation was when black people couldn't date mixed people. And no, you're fucking wrong on that. Okay, you're absolutely wrong. It's the opposite. The mixed people were put on the black side, okay? Y'all need to know that. Miscegenation is not about mixed people are better than black. Mixed people are cool with white people. No. They said mixed people, you're over there. And if you realize with the one drop rule, it makes sense for you. Like, yes, even though white people were still having sex with black people and treating them like crap, so babies were made, those babies were still treated black, okay? So what I want to show y'all is some pictures of the Egyptians, because that's what we're titling this video, okay? We're titling this video The Egyptians. Were they black? Wait, so I can't even see this up close? This is awful. Not awful, but you see that? Y'all need to see it up close. Oh, and this guy wants to start a World War III. This guy said, what is the alternate choice? To start a world war, what is alternate choice? Like black supremacy, like, so you saying black people are better than white people? And this Asian wants to start a World War III. He does, though. This is the Asian that's a genius. She's so wonderful and so smart. So, listen. If anybody thinks they know something about history, they need to know exactly what this is. This right here. Can they tell you what that is? Can you tell me what that is? What is that? Who is that? What is it? What is this significance? What would you say? Are you saying some black people right there? What are you saying? Some people in a chair? What are you saying? Like, what do you see right there? But the truth is, it's King Tut golden chair. You can Google that. Told you about the Google and the search engine, right? King Tut. That, you didn't know that. You just thought it was a black person. Why? Because you saw their skin and you see their hair. You know this little afro. You see it. And look, his complexion, their complexion. Okay, look at this. That is in museums. This is stuff in museums, y'all. Okay? That's King Tut's grandfather. And these people are racist. You feel me? That's the first pharaoh in history, Narmer. Y'all know the Sphinx is really, really old, right? They want to say that's the thing. You feel me? Yeah. Egyptologists. And see, Egyptologists is a bad word because those like the people who found Egypt and they found it was cool after it was cool. They won't be like when they found this stuff while they were racist. But there's people like French explorers who are like have famous quotes, and their quotes include, "Who would have known this black man who is now our scorn was the person who gave us all the arts and everything." You know how I said I might show y'all some Instagram stuff? Let's do it real fast. Because although I forget his name, see, ooh, pretty, and she is just an African. We're gonna look up Yum Cheese. Nah, we're gonna look up we're gonna look up on the importance of this. Okay, so black people, Egyptians are black, okay? And they're treating black people like shit. Alright. If you want some proof that Egyptians are black, let's go into the Bible real fast. Okay? Because some people don't like the Bible, so let's maybe use it or maybe not. But I have less than 4 minutes to get y'all knowing some shit. Okay, so this here says the Holy Bible. Okay. Let's see what we can see about Genesis. This ain't quite right. He said in his image, and another one that says there. It winds through the entire land of Cush. Okay, do you know where Cush is? You know what Onx is? Let's get to Noah's sons. Noah's sons are Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Now, Ham's the father of Canaan, right? But let's also talk about the other sons. The other sons of Ham are Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. Ham is Africa. Ham is Egypt. Egypt and Cush. Okay, now. What if this book will open with something about black people and Egyptians? I have a minute. What could I do to show you?
Wait, I thought Venmo was for paying people.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna type in KMT because that's what Egyptians call themselves in their land, you know, with the hieroglyphics. Let me type this in. Oh my goodness, KMT Drake. That's kind of deep. Know thyself. Alright, y'all. We're gonna look it up on Google. Why all this music come out for me?